About getting on Facebook. Come on, my friend, my dear friend, Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I figure if we share this intimacy.
Exactly.
My friend.
Wait for it to turn to 11. Thank goodness there's still Sunday service, because otherwise I wouldn't know what day of the week it is.
Oh my gosh, we totally understand.
At least it's a great marker. There we go.
It totally is. And we've had Zoom meetings going all week, so they start to run in together. It's like
it's a strange but interesting time.
uh-huh.
He's all the best of times. He's all the worst of times.
Exactly.
I saw somebody goes, we're not all in the same boat. We're in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat, because many of us are having different, varied experiences.
Oh, it's one extreme to the other. Totally.
Yeah, it's really true.
And it's all about one word, as James would say, consciousness. Consciousness.
And it's true, right?
It's the answer to everything, right, Helen?
Raise it.
Everything. All right, come on, it's preparing. Come on, my friend.
Get the little hamsters in the wheel. Go, 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 go.
You can do it. You can do it. A little engine that could. Okay. Try it again.
Yeah, then once you pull the order.
I will. Yeah.
Not on the computer, though.
Usually I find by the third time. Third time's a charm. Come on.
Bruce Lipton and Dr. Buttar, they did a video that went worldwide yesterday about today at 11 o'clock on the top, 11 o'clock at the Helen knows. So we're in that window of moment for you guys.
Yeah.
Just knowing that this service, this celebration serves that harmony and health and a beautiful planet for the many.
Yes, for all.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, honey. You can do it. You can do it. Like I said, 3 times a charm. Oh, hi, Rustin. How are you? Thank you for checking in there. Oh. Here we go. Really, it can happen on the 3rd time.
It will happen.
Thank you for your patience in this.
No worries.
Thank you for your patience with technology.
Don't we all just have time right now?
Yeah,
exactly. You guys, you have a lot going on, you two. So, yeah.
It feels
very open.
Yeah, it feels like some ways it's gotten busier. In all good things, but it's definitely been a rise of all kinds of opportunities to plug our time and we're learning how to focus our time a little better.
I know. I think it's taken me about a month to get into a new routine, but not a new routine.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny when you're home more, you have to almost choose. I'm finding for myself that I can get lost in doing things, especially around the computer. and to break away and to go, okay, I need to walk away, because you're not really going anywhere as much.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right.
So I'll just be sitting here, admiring your song. So her song is here. It's
Oh, it's Grandma, the first one.
Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then flute.
Yes.
Then your song.
Mm-hmm.
And then Loka. I'm here.
Good morning.
It's preparing.
Yeah.
So many people are using it right now too.
Yeah.
I wonder if that slows things.
Oh yeah, I would imagine on a Sunday morning.
11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Every church right now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, we are going to do one more here. And you know what? We can start and I can just keep doing this anyways. I can multitask.
Nice.
Do you? I wonder if I can grab that. That's gonna fall.
I think there must be a bottleneck.
Can we give it a few more minutes or?
Yeah, I'm going to start, and I can keep doing this, and we're recording, so we can always post it later anyways. So yes, we will get this party started.
Yay.
Yay. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I know I say that every Sunday now. Welcome home. Welcome home to a body, mind, spirit connection, to that place where love resides in your heart. And I so appreciate you being on Zoom with us. And if we don't get this posted or get connected to Facebook, then we will post this on Facebook Live later. We are so blessed today to have as our musical guests, Heather and Jason Powers, whom I think I met about 5 years ago at GTC, Global Truth Center. I think it's about that long. But, you know, I've seen you in and out throughout the years and so appreciate who you are and what you do, your beautiful, beautiful voices. Heather and Jason are the founders of The Power of Love. And if you go to thepowersoflove.com, you can see what they do and what they offer. They tons of workshops and beautiful music by Heather. And just so you know, Heather, I didn't know this until I looked it up. You're a mother of 3. Yes. And, but also an award-winning, internationally acknowledged singer, songwriter, and speaker, and ordained minister and love and soul coach. And of course, Jason is a licensed spiritual practitioner with Centers for Spiritual Living and Truth Center. And their voices are the perfect blend of the masculine, the feminine, woven together by their love, their deep, deep love for each other, love for others, love for the world, and a consciousness that will have you rise up into love as you hear them sing and regale us with their beautiful, beautiful music this Sunday. So thank you for being with us. I so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here. And it's one of the joys of this being inside is that we get to be with different communities that we wouldn't normally, get to connect with just because of the distance. And so this is such a gift to be able to be here and just feel the essence of the family atmosphere that you've created. And we just love you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Helen. That made me take a deep breath. We can get lost in la la land about love, but love is truly the most powerful force in the universe, and that's what's going to pull us through this perfect storm that we're experiencing on the planet. And it is our joy to sing about love and awaken more love on the planet. So may all beings be filled with this love this morning. This is a song that's it's Sanskrit, which is Aham Prema. Aham Prema, literally in Sanskrit, just means I am divine love. And when we remember that, all things clear, all things are magnetized to us, and we radiate that sphere of divine love. So sing along if you feel the rhythm.
In the presence of love, everything changes. In the presence of peace, I quiet my soul. In the presence of grace, life rearranges. And the light inside is guiding me. Oh. In the presence of love, everything changes. In the presence of peace, I quiet my soul. In the presence of grace, life rearranges. And the light inside is guiding me home. Aham Prema, Aham Prema. Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema, Aham Prema. In the presence of love, everything changes. Everything changes. In the presence of peace, quiet my soul. Quiet my soul. In the presence of grace, life rearranges. And the light inside is guiding me home. Aham Prema, Aham Prema. Aham Prema, Aham Prema. Aham Prema, Aham Prema. Aham Prema, 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 Aham Prema,
breathe it in. Beautiful. Thank you. We'll start by lighting this candle. Recognizing the light and the love within us. Recognizing that love is the golden thread through religion, through culture, through traditions, through stories that have been passed down through the ages around transformation. And so we call this message of love and we celebrate it. We come together to recognize that within every culture, religion, tradition is the harmonizing of our consciousness to know love, to be love, and to live from that place. And so we recognize the religions and we light candles in honor of these religions, starting with Hinduism, which is the oldest religion in the world, described as a way of life. And it is a compilation of many philosophies. It is the worship of the feminine and the masculine. It is the worship of the divine feminine, which is an important aspect in Hinduism that sets it apart from many of the other religions. We recognize Judaism, which teaches the oneness of God is spiritual first. We recognize Buddhism, the law of karma, which is the law of cause and effect. Christianity, recognizing the Christ consciousness that is within all of us, that pure, divine love. The Tao, recognizing the importance of harmonizing with nature and balancing the yin and the yang. Confucianism, which Confucius believed no one could ever have too much spiritual knowledge. And I mean, we are here in this moment in time to open ourselves up to that divine knowledge of spirit within us all. And Islam, submission to the will of God, and Islam teaches humanity, equality, forgiveness. The shaman traditions, which again, the belief that shamans could reach this altered state of consciousness that we're all able to reach and have the power to heal the sick, to commune with the infinite, and to escort those who are transitioning to from this earth plane into their next state of being. Whatever that is, whatever they're, depending on each and every individual's belief. And we recognize our First Nation traditions, a tradition of regularly giving thanks through everyday acts, ritual, and ceremony. We recognize the Baha'i faith, which is the oneness of religion, the oneness of humankind. And we recognize our own beloved New Thought tradition, specifically Science of Mind teachings that recognize that there is a power. There is a power for good in the universe. It is back of all of life. And yet it is who and what we are. And we can access that beautiful power of love within us. And we light a candle and recognize the light for all the other traditions and ceremonies that aren't recognized here in this moment. And again, recognizing the light within all of us, the light within, and the eternal light beyond. And so, Ellen, I invite you to take us into our opening treatment, please.
Thank you. So I invite you all, wherever you're sitting, wherever you are, just to take a moment of quiet and just breathe in the space and the sounds and just sit with your beingness for a moment, knowing that there is only that one love, that one goodness, that one consciousness, and we are each a part of that whole. And in sitting in this silence, I know that each person joining together feels the peace. I am peace. There is a peace that passeth understanding, and it is within each and every one of us. And in this time together, I know that we sit, that we feel, and that we are inspired by Spirit, filling ourselves with a joy that is at the core of ourselves in every moment. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for the ability to communicate in this time, for all the gifts that we are given. I release this word to the law, knowing it is done, and that we step into this hour with a joy, with an anticipation, and with an absolute knowing of the power that we are. Together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Ellen. I'm going to hand it back over to Heather and Jason to take us into our invocation song.
Thank you. One of the silver linings of this time for us is to witness Mother Nature, to witness the beauty of her resilience and her bouncing back and the healing that she's doing in the skies and the waters and the birds. And so in that light, I decided to play the flute for this time, for us to remember that I am the nature of Mother Nature. I am the healing, resilient nature of Mother Nature. And so in the energy of the path of the indigenous and the First Nations and the shamanic path, this is my offering. May you allow the rivers of love to run through you as they clearly run through our Mother Earth. Oh.
Blessings. Thank you. Ellen.
Hi. So Ernest Holmes says, may our minds be so open to the infinite abundance of love and beauty, compassion, goodness, simplicity, sincerity, that it flows around the world, bringing back, as it must, the joy that is God. And we're seeing this abundance he speaks of flowing around the world right now. And there's no question, amidst everything that's going on, there's joy, there's stories of goodness and beauty showing up everywhere. And our theme for the month is prosperity. And I see prosperity as the ability to get what my soul truly desires. And it's what we need materially, which can be money or human care or nature or opportunity, in order to fully express who we are at our core. And we all have things we want to reveal, from writing to music to art to service, science, ministry, athleticism, and prosperity is what brings us the ability to fulfill our desires and express what it is our soul wants to express. And it's threefold. First, we take the time to see the prosperity we have. Then through gratitude, we develop the consciousness of abundance, and we see it and we feel it. And then finally, through generosity, we spread it and live it and are ultimately fulfilled by the grace that comes with that. And people who know me know that I love the water. I water over mountains, water over everything. And last year I found an apartment across the street from the lake with some houses between it. And it's pretty run down. I'm on a bit of a budget. And a couple of months in, I discovered that if I stand on the corner of my bed on my tiptoes, looking out the window, I can see the lake. It's maybe like a centimeter of lake. And then I thought maybe it's sky one day. Another day I thought, well, maybe it is water. I do have a lake view. And then all of a sudden, 6 weeks ago, the house next door was torn down to rebuild a house. And I have a lake view, which was pretty darn amazing. So I'm not sure how long until the house is built. Everything's shut down. So I'm going to enjoy my lakefront property. I have Toronto lakefront property. I see the sunset. I see the moon. I see the water. And it makes me feel so rich. And I still feel like some would say it's totally disproportionate joy because I think my water view is this big. But I feel so much joy being able to look out that window and see that water. And there is no disproportionate joy. Joy is joy is joy. So I have this lake view in Toronto and I'm savoring every moment of it. So clearly the analogy I'm going to make is too obvious, but the moment the house next door is built and I can't see it, the lake is still there, whether I see it or not. And the gift and the prosperity, the feeling that was generated is going to remain forever. That feeling of joy is the core of our beingness. And it is spirit, and each experience of prosperity leaves its mark and becomes a part of who we are. It's a part of us always, and it builds and builds and builds. So then when we feel prosperous, we offer gratitude. When we're sincerely grateful, our energy is one of acceptance and harmony, and we're in sync with who we really are. And when we absolutely know that all things are working for good, no matter how they appear, it's so much easier to stay in that place of gratitude. And that's not to diminish any pain that people are feeling. And the sadness and pain we feel sometimes is real, but with the action of gratitude and generosity and allowing our spirit to express, we can avoid the suffering that can come from that pain. And we connect to that light, and we're in that place where we can help others easing their distress. And look what's going on around the world today. Jason, you alluded to it too. And it's a full generosity of spirit. Our consciousness is working together in such unity right now around the world. And so many disenfranchised people who've been ignored are being reached out to and are being touched. And our reflection of the beauty and simplicity being revealed in nature. I mean, the stars I see over the lake now rival what I used to see up north when I was at a cottage. This is like in the city where I never saw it before. And for you guys in LA, I was reading, it's not even that the air pollution is cleaner than it was 20 years ago. It's cleaner than it's ever been recorded. It's amazing. So we're seeing the generosity of nature in a greater way. And we're one with this nature. And the prosperity it offers us fills us spiritually as well. I hear more birds now outside my window, and everything just feels so rich. And we have the gift right now to sit and contemplate. And it sounds so simple, and it is so simple. That's just it. Everything that we need to be prosperous is simple. And with attention and awareness, and then with the allowing for the joy that simplicity brings, we receive our prosperity. And then with the feeling that comes to us from this sense of riches, finally comes the generosity, which is part of our divine nature. And giving is something that uplifts us no matter how difficult things are. And it's exponential and amazing how even the smallest act affects both the giver and the receiver. And it just builds and builds and goes into the universe. We give in whatever way and through whatever talents we have. And Heather, I was scheduled to talk today before you guys were scheduled. And way back, before I'd even heard of Science of Mind or anything, I stumbled on your Grateful Girl site. It was called Grateful Girl. And I followed it like crazy. I watched your podcast, listened to your music, your talks, and I was so touched, your words and songs. And I remember at one point you asking people on Facebook if they weren't engaged to step back, because I guess there were limits in numbers, and I thought, I felt guilty, but no way, I wasn't giving up on that. So what you shared of your abundance and your talent and insight touched me really deeply at a pivotal time in my life. And I was guided by your wisdom. So thank you. So this is kind of cool. So following you over the years led me to so much happiness for you through social media, you guys and your wedding and your son and the family pictures and all that stuff. And so it borders on stalking maybe, but that's the nature of social media. I don't know, but it is so crazy how happy I felt for you guys seeing all of that. And it's just a powerful statement on the energy that comes through oneness and through you sharing your generosity. It was huge. Your meditations on SoundCloud, Jason, I listened to those too. Okay, so this was really funny today. So we see 3 elements that when we notice our prosperity with gratitude, we transform ourselves, and we're called to share our abundance generously in whatever way it's been gifted to us, lifting us up and changing others, whether we know it or not. You did not know what you did for me, and you sure did. When it's ignited in us, the generosity of spirit, and the spiral continues ever upwards. So Ernest Holmes calls us to act on this spiritual rejuvenation that comes from prosperity. And he says, let us love one another, let us serve simply and deeply, united with all creation. So our affirmation, I will say once, and if everybody watching, if you repeat it silently in your heart or repeat it out loud, our affirmation is, I live in an abundant universe. There is more than enough for everyone. Therefore, I receive my good and I give back generously. So if we can repeat that together, it's a long one. I live in an abundant universe. There is more than enough for everyone. Therefore, I receive my good and I give back generously. Thank you. And thank you, you guys. This was cool to meet you. Thank you. Okay.
I heard that story. I'm like, Ellen, you have to say it. You have to let Heather know and Jason how long you've been following them.
A long time.
Yes, you know what? I think that is just such an incredible testimony to any of us, we never know who's watching.
No. And who you're touching.
Totally. And thank you so much for sharing that. Like that made our day.
Well, it is true. So anyway, and your wedding was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, enough.
Yes, those are amazing stories of miracles in and of themselves. You know, I know that for anybody who's on this call and in this teaching, learning to be guided by love takes you to the most amazing places, and the things that we imagine for ourselves are just a foreshadowing of really how our desires are fulfilled when it's truly love that is fulfilling them. So thank you for being a demonstration of that. And just, yeah, this is really awesome. So I wanted to share a song this morning called More Together. And last year at the Global Truth Center, James began, we piloted a show called The Interview. And his first guest was Mark Nepo. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with Mark Nepo and his amazing books. So the last book that he wrote was called More Together. And he is such a simple, practical sage, a voice, you know, that cuts through because of how just grounded his wisdom is. And one of the stories that he shared on this interview was just how the indigenous view seeing people, new tribes that were not their own, and rather than feeling fearful, like we needed to protect and guard ourselves from, you know, some other idea that was different from our own, they would invite this other tribe or these other people into and share meals with them to find out we have pieces to learn from each other. And I was so touched by that, because right now, while there's so much division in ideas of what's actually happening on our planet, you know, there's so many stories of what's really going on. And at the end of the day, you know, there's no one right or wrong thing here. I think we're being called to a place in our own vision that is rising above duality and really listening so deeply, knowing that there's a spark of God in everything, even the things that we're inclined to shun and be triggered by. So this song is just More Together. It's the title of his last book, and that when we really come together, and we're really open to it, not just in ritual, but really open our hearts to each other, we get pieces of the puzzle that we didn't have before. So. One by one, we are awakening. Two by two, we are remembering. Three by three, ascending in reality to one love. I am all one love. Letting go of the blame. We've all had suffering. Free of shame like new babes, the garden opening. Hand in hand we see beyond the veil of fear, and now we open to the beauty of community. We're more together than we could ever be alone. We are the soul untethered as we walk each other home. When will we finally realize, as we look deep enough into each other's eyes, that we are more together than we could ever be alone. child by child, we restore Eden. Tree by tree, all life shall breathe again. A colored brush in every hand, we paint the rainbow rays across the land. Every kingdom lifted now to one love. I am, oh, one love. We're more together than we could ever be alone. We are the soul untethered as we walk each other home. When will we finally realize, as we look deep enough into each other's eyes, that we are more together than we could ever be alone. We are more together than we could ever be alone. Come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. A world of pure imagination. A world of pure imagination.
Wow. I have tears in my eyes. I'm going to pull myself together here. Thank you. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. And, you know, I think what's going to happen is community is going to become woven into the fabric of our society in a much deeper way. And so for us to be able to just really be in that place of recognizing our oneness despite any differences in terms of, you know, how we're handling this, because how everybody's handling it is basically they're doing the best they can. And that, you know, our sense of wanting to belong and be part of something is woven into the fabric of who we are. And it's so funny because Ellen and I were at the center on Friday. We went into make sandwiches, bag lunches for the homeless. We did 50 of them. And we had Darren and Scott come at 1 o'clock and they picked up a box, and then Ellen and I distributed the rest of them. And Derek, my husband, took some as well. And when I walked into the center, it was like, oh, I hadn't been there in 6 months. So to see it, and it's like, I don't know what I was expecting really, but I'm like, it's the same way I left it. It's exactly the same. But what was missing was everybody who attends the center. It was missing the people. And it's, yes, we have this beautiful new space and it's really lovely, but it's the people. It is the energy of everyone coming together that truly makes up our community. Not just the the beautiful walls and the beautiful paintings and everything else. And so, you know, I have this vision that we will be in that space, sharing our energy and our love, and being able to at some point hug each other and look at each other in each other's eyes and just say, wow, you are so beautiful, and I love you, and I've missed you, and I see you. So this is the vision that I see in the future. But, you know, at the same time, being at home, and this is like probably the longest stretch of time I've been home in 20 years, because usually I'm traveling 1 week out of the month or every 6 weeks. So to go and teach Hoffman. So I'm like really home. I'm not getting on a plane and going anywhere either. But what it has allowed is me to be exposed to so many different experiences online where people are coming together and sharing and telling stories, sharing their music. I mean, all you have to do is on any night at 8 p.m. you can see Keith Urban, and Joan Baez was on the other night. And so, wow, I get to listen to all this different music, but also listen to different stories. And there is posted on our Facebook feed, on our page, is a Saturday night Passover Seder that was beautifully put together by a number of musical theater artists, Jason Alexander and Idina Mendes, and it's amazing. It is. But what was so incredible is there were a couple of rabbis in it as well. So there's humor, there's beautiful, beautiful, touching music. Oh my gosh, Judith Light did an incredible monologue as Ben Platt sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and gave it a whole new meaning as to what it actually meant for the Jewish people after the Holocaust. So getting this kind of information and understanding and being able to look and listen to a song from a completely different perspective is an incredible gift. And so when we recognize that we are all on this journey, and we are going from where we were through the darkness, and we will come out into the light despite our vulnerabilities, we will all come out into the light. I see that there can be something far more beautiful for everyone in the world, a new understanding, a new learning, and a new self-reliance, where we're able to really look at what the circumstances are and discern, truly discern, is this something that brings more light and love into the world, or is this message sucking me into the undertow of fear? And to be able to discern is that understanding that we take that journey inwards. We pull back from all the layers of our patterned personality and look inwards to realize that no matter what we do, no matter where we live, no matter what we look like, that we're all connected. And it's a good thing, because sometimes on Sunday morning prayer or morning prayer at 8 a.m., I look like I've just rolled out of bed. So that doesn't matter anymore. It's how are we bringing ourselves to each and every experience? And our DNA is the same DNA. 98.8% of our DNA is the same as every other person on this earth plane, which makes perfect sense, because we are the microcosm. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. And since we're all from that same source, it makes total sense that our DNA is 98.8%. And then we get a little bit of leeway here and there. So from that, what we get to do is turn injury into wisdom. And we can rely on the DNA, the historical DNA of suffering that has been transcended through history. So, you think about it, the Jews and all of the tragedy and adversity and how they keep rebuilding their lives. the blacks and the coloreds from apartheid or slavery, the xenophobia that's been happening for thousands of years, the oppression of the indigenous, and yet the indigenous are still rebuilding and inviting new tribes into their home, into their being, to learn, to connect, to understand. And that's what's called having an open mind, is to be able to not be in fear, but to be curious and invite in, to learn, to understand, and to grow in our oneness. So as one culture or religion sustains faith, and they have throughout the history, so do we. It's all within us. We all have that ability. You know, someone said to me a couple weeks ago how sorry they were. And we're going on and on about people losing their businesses. And yes, it is very unfortunate. But what the consciousness was a consciousness of keeping people stuck as victims to their circumstances. And I said, well, you know, and I kept trying to bring it around to yes, and maybe there's something more for them to discover and uncover, because we're all pure potentiality. Oh no, they won't get that. And I'm like, why wouldn't they? We mustn't see people as incapable of understanding that they can get to that knowing of their own pure potentiality and purpose and passion and bring that into expression in the world. So no one is a victim to the circumstances, and I choose not to buy into that collective consciousness, because the moment I do, I've just made people victims, and I don't want to do that. I want them to know that, oh my goodness, you too have this DNA where you can tap into and take this tragedy and rise above it and create something that is even better and more beautiful and wholesome and more connected than ever before. And so, you know, each time we allow ourselves to see the pure potentiality within ourselves, within others, we don't then get sucked into that undertow and that narrative that somehow we're not capable in this lifetime to come together and move through this and create something more beautiful. So there is a genetic transmission of hope and triumph and joy and celebration when we can recognize that that's all within us. And so, you know, then we can also understand and experience the miracles of life, the miracles in the divine and the miracles in the human. And the miracles of the divine is shifting into that consciousness of oneness, of love only, of understanding that within each and every one of us there is that power for transformation. And then the human is that each one of us every day in our human form, take action to do our spiritual practices, to take action to serve others in whatever way we can. I know Jacqueline, when she did this singer-songwriters circle series on Tuesday night, talked about how she created this apartment. She lives in an apartment building and created this whole party where everybody was in their doorways, and she was singing and playing her music, and people were singing in their doorways. She had a 50-50 draw where she had a string and everybody moved it along from one apartment to the other and bought tickets and put in $5. And then the next floor up asked her if she could do it the next week. So it's like, get creative in how you're gonna serve and bring your gifts forward, because that's the miracles we can give on the human level every single day. And you know, it's when we are building up our spiritual practice and we're building that foundation of that inner knowingness and faith. There's something bigger going on here, much bigger than I know, much bigger than anybody knows. And yet we do know. We do know because when we touch back into our heart space and we listen, we can hear the voice that the mystics have heard all throughout the ages. Love. Love only. Love will prevail. Be that love. Know that's who you are. And so, you know, and what I find so much is that people who have been doing that spiritual work are actually doing okay. They're doing okay. And, you know, I have one friend who had really struggled with anxiety for as long as I've known her. I think I've known her about 10 years. And she's great. She's great. Now, she did say, it only took me $50,000 in personal development work to get here, but you don't have to spend the $50,000. You pray, you meditate, you hold that sacred space for yourself in your heart. That's free. And so, or you go for your walks in nature and take time to contemplate. But it's time to step through the doorway, you know, into spiritual practice. That's what we're being called to do here. And so if we fail to see this moment for what it is, because it's an opportunity to rise up into love only, we may waste a lot of time being sucked into the fear, the lack, the limitation, and all the other messaging that's not keeping us connected to our true self. So in the words of Anne Mortifee, and I don't know if you know who Anne Mortifee is. She's a Canadian singer-songwriter. She's a speaker. She's a teacher. I knew her from the 70s. I remember when she was singing folk music. And she is one of these incredibly evolved beings and just an amazing poet as well. And she said, in every generation, there have been great souls, recognized and unrecognized. They are completing their own awakening through service to all. Some of them step forward onto the stage of history. Others evolve quietly in the stillness of a reclusive life. But each of these great ones have known this truth. Their destiny's fulfillment and their service to the whole depends solely on their invincible willingness to stay true to their inner guidance, wherever it may lead. So stay true to your own inner guidance. Stay true to the guidance from the divine that is always, always away, always available to us. Be awake, be aware, be vigilant. Be vigilant. Do not overlook this opportunity to step into the doorway of transformation. Do not allow the collective consciousness to drag you down if you're being sucked into the fear. Reach out, ask a practitioner for prayer work. Reach out and get some help. We're here to serve you. So let it be known that your soul is calling you. It is calling upon you to step into that doorway. Step through it and into this new reality, this new vision of what life can be. And so, yes, there is a breakdown right now. And yet there is also a rebuilding that is happening behind the scenes. There is a rebuilding, and that rebuilding is magnificent. Let yourself envision what that is for you. It is a new life, and it is a life that flourishes for all. For all. So I send you my love. I miss you all. I do have that vision of all of us being together and sharing our energy in person. And for now, I thank you for being online with us. And I thank you for being a part of this community, because I love you so much. I think you're just the most amazing community of beings. And, you know, let us also open the doorway to others and let them bring their traditions, their knowledge into our community so that we can learn and grow from it, so that we're flourishing all as one. And so I wish you many, many blessings, and thank you so much. Thank you for being online today. Namaste. And know that we do deeply appreciate your financial support. We do need to keep things going online and also at our bricks and mortar space, which is waiting for us. So if you would like to donate, you can do so by going to our website, welcomeomtoronto.com. You can also send an email, an e-transfer to admin@welcomeomtoronto.com. And that's all in our newsletter. It's on our website, so you can go there. And so also, just let me give you a few announcements before we finish off here. Morning prayer still continues at 8 a.m. Monday through Saturday on Facebook Live. And yes, I do look like I rolled out of bed sometimes because I've just gotten some coffee into me. And that's okay. It's all good. We have some regular people, and I just love seeing you on there every morning. So thank you for that, and thank you for continuing to do your work. We do have our meditation classes on Zoom, Monday through Saturday, and the class schedule is on our website. It's in our newsletter, and this Thursday morning, Philip Jacobs is back to give a sound bath, which is just, I so miss those sound baths. He is, Heather and Jason, you need to meet this guy. When you come to Toronto, he is truly a divine being. So our schedule is up, and you can come on at 9 a.m. And then we also have our Conscious Cafe on Tuesday, April 21st. So this Tuesday at 5 p.m. And that's with Dr. Mitch Abrams, and he's talking about radical art and energy medicine and how we bring communities together in a conscious healthcare system using art and music. And then our Friday Kindness is going to continue. We've already received donations to make more lunches for the people living on the street. And I have to say, I was so surprised that I went from Queen and Greenwood to Queen and Jarvis, and I was done. I thought I was going to go all along Queen West and then up to St. Clair West, and I was out of bags. So we definitely need to at least double up, triple up the amount of lunches we're making so we can hand them out. And again, talk about that feeling of just going out and saying, here, would you like some lunch? And people were so appreciative. They're like, thanks, thank you, and bless you, and stay safe, have a great day. And so just such a fun thing. We can take one more person in the center. So we can do 3 people. If someone else wants to come in this Friday and help Ellen and I, we're at the center at 11. And then if anybody wants to come and pick up at 1 o'clock, just let us know. We'll give you a box. You can go and hand them out. And you can experience that joy of giving from your heart. And if someone's really good at decorating bags, I don't know if you saw the photos of my bags. Like, you know, I'm not my strong point. It was kind of messy, and then I realized I was writing them too much at the top. I needed to bring them down. The message was getting folded over because we stapled the bags. So if somebody wants to decorate bags, have at it. So that's all the announcements for this week. Thank you again, everyone. And I want to say thank you to Nick for his meditation this morning. Beautiful. Thank you, Ellen, for your words, your prayer. You're always so inspiring, and gosh, helping me keep the center going. So thank you so much, Ellen. And then thank you, Jason and Heather. Oh my gosh, I love you. I can't wait for you to come to Toronto. Now I'm thinking that our opening might be pushed to the fall, maybe. So you could come up with James and Eric and be part of our opening. That's my vision. So I'm putting it out there.
We like that vision.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to have you close us out, and many, many blessings to you both. Thank you again. I love you, and so grateful. So grateful. Thank you.
So grateful.
Just breathing in such love. There's been tears of just gratitude and just how oneness operates through each one of us as individuals. The multiplicity of the oneness, right? This idea that there's really one message. One message is we are victorious in the presence of love itself. And that resilience, that bounce back ability with our DNA has. I mean, just powerful message. And so our song today, you know, for those of you that have been tuning in, we mentioned it early before we went live that Bruce Lipton and Dr. Buttar talked about today, whenever it's 11, whenever it's any 11, it doesn't have to be, it's just, we're holding a field on this planet right now of a vision that we are more together, Heather's song, and that there's just a blessing, you know, that we can move through this. And the song that we want to leave you with today is a Sanskrit mantra. It's just Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which translates, may all beings be happy. May all beings be free. And may what I do, may what I say, may what I think contribute to that vision, because we're longing for this world. And we need to create, as Heather, let the song come with me to a world of divine, pure imagination. And it is done unto us as we conceive it and believe it and step into it. And so we leave this song with you all in gratitude to be with you.
One thing I just want to add to that is this morning when I woke up and I was scrolling through my Facebook, I saw a picture of the Schumann resonance of the earth that has been rising. And when there was this global meditation, I think it was last week or the week before, when we all came together and we meditated, and it had risen to about 72. And this morning I saw that it rose to 88. And what you shared, love, is that, you know, every time that we remember, there is something physically in Mother Earth that is happening, that is causing the rising of people that don't even recognize it yet. And so thank you for each of you, how you contribute with your own thoughts and minding, taking captive of the thoughts that sometimes want to, you know, get squirrely. But thank you, because we are making a difference. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May my words and thoughts and feelings be the blessing this world longs to see. Try that with us. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be free. May my words and thoughts and feelings be the blessing this world longs to see. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy. And may all beings be free. May my words and thoughts and feelings be the blessing this world longs to see. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
samasta, Sukino bhavantu loka samasta, Sukino bhavantu loka samasta, Sukino bhavantu loka samasta, Sukino bhavantu loka samasta, Sukino bhavantu. May you be happy. May you be free. May you be free. Free of fear, free of worry. Free to be you in all your glory. We wish this for you. We pray this. We know this for you. Right here, right now. No matter what, you are free. You are sovereign. You are the divine in form. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Namaste.
Namaste. Beautiful. Blessings to you both. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone on Zoom. And yes, we are live on Facebook. And thank you to everyone on Facebook for watching. Have a beautiful week. And we'll see you next Sunday. Much, much love.